People are strange. Fucking strange.
Is that strange?
That is strange.
That is strange.
Wow, that is strange. This is strange.
And welcome to another episode of Strange Sauna, everybody. Trump knew about the girls. The damning sentence that came from the newly released Jeffrey Epstein emails released by the House Oversight Committee, led by Thomas Massey. He's demanding that these files are released. They finally got the votes in. Our government is back on. And what do you know? The first thing that happened, the Epstein emails are all released. And there's over 2,000? There's a boatload of files. And Flex, what do you have to say about it, man?
I mean, right off the bat, I want people to understand, like, 5 years ago, I was on board with all this and I was a supporter, and I'm not here to shit on anybody. But at this point, and if you look objectively at what's going on and how the last 11 months have been with this administration and what's going on, I'm confused. I don't know what's at play here. I think we're going to talk about that today.
Right.
Like I said, we're here just to put the evidence out and be like, Greg and I we're both big supporters of Trump. I lost friends over Trump. Listen, I was heartbroken by Trump. You know, I was
Broke your heart.
into this, broke my heart deep, and I'm not being facetious. I'm not being, dramatic. I was deep into this. Wow, this is going to change. We're going to expose some stuff, and it's 5 years into it now. It looks like the Kool-Aid's been drunk.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the Kool-Aid definitely is being drunk by people who think that Donald Trump is not something. I mean, it is something different. Like, if you think that Donald Trump is not the status quo, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's so much evidence that has compiled within his second administration, even his first administration. I mean, if you look at like towards the end there, I mean, what he did with the lockdowns and the government spending and like like I want to take away the guns first, that kind of thing, there's a lot that is not America first. When you think of conservative and like who the MAGA base is, and you think like I want pro Second Amendment. I want free speech. I want, a lower. I want to be able to afford stuff.
Right.
And none of that is happening right now. I mean, the freedom of speech thing, you can kind of see the trend with the whole anti-Israel, anti-Semitism movement, right? So I just like that across the board. Just the release of these files and the timing of it is so suspicious to me, and I just don't understand why now. And that is the only thing that brings me back to this whole Q conspiracy, this whole like there is this plan to expose something, and maybe Donald Trump is that bait to expose something. Right? I'm totally open to that idea, and they're using Donald Trump and his dirtiness because they know that he's been in that realm, right?
Right.
And I'm just saying, because like we had talked about this a long time ago, that maybe Trump is like this Batman figure who's like the clean guy and he's like infiltrating this group. I don't think that's the case. I think that he's actually dirty, and he just is either got caught or like he's working with a sub faction. And there's kind of like this competing mob mentality where you have two factions of power-hungry people battling it out.
Yeah. And as this battle is happening, America is disintegrating. The battle that we're having with our liberals and conservative in Canada is disintegrating. So a lot is our quality of life is disintegrating. And if in the last 11 months, there was some really major improvements on what we wanted to see in his first term, And I'm like, this is why they're pulling this out or making it up or whatever. If it is a hoax, is because he really has shifted gears, and like the Dems are panicking. The Dems are nobody's panicking except for your citizens as to why shit is getting worse.
Right.
Everything. So that's where I look at it being like, if it was 11 months of pure wins, like big wins, I'm like, here, all right, here it is. You haven't had any.
Well, and that's the scary part, is that you can see some people trying to spin this and spin the entire administration into, hey, we're winning. Even Trump himself, he's saying like, this is the best our economy has been. And I'm like, what?
Ask
like
your citizens and they'll say no.
Well, most of them will say no. Yeah, right. Yep. But like, what I don't get is they've had this information for a while, and a part of me thinks that that's why they shut the government down, so that way they could go through and read all of this email content.
Oh,
because
interesting.
I mean, this would take weeks for somebody to sift through. Even if you had a team, you'd be like, hey, you take folder A, you take folder B.
Yeah, you guys were shut down for over 40 days, so that would explain a lot.
You know what I mean?
Well, but again, if you've had this, why now? Why not use it in his first term? Why not use it in the second term against Biden and Harris? So I'm confused. And kind of just what's the word I'm looking at? I'm confused, and I'm just kind of like discombobulated with everything. I'm just like, I can't figure it out.
Right.
Like even reading the codes and his tweets or his tweets, I can't figure any of it out anymore.
That's where I want to be very careful. Okay. Like, falling into this conspiracy thing, because I want to assume good intent, but I've seen so much from Trump where I can't just assume good intentions anymore, because I'm like, well, why did you do this? Why did you take money from this person? Why did this stuff come out of your mouth? Yeah. It's clearly not America first.
And his administration, the record of the past 11 months has been horrendous. It has. I sent you some videos today, and I've watched videos of conservative people who are done drinking the Kool-Aid be like, he is the most sucking Israel president we've ever had.
Right.
Which
his
is
whole
very
administration
obvious.
is,
The whole administration is, and it's kind of like, you're 11 months in, you got another 3 and a bit to go, which I personally don't think he'll make it that far. If he doesn't get impeached for this, or something happens to him and JD Vance comes in, like there's just a lot, right. And I can't figure out if he's Batman or the Joker right now. I don't know.
Well, and that's the whole thing is, we don't know. So nobody knows why this is happening. So you can't just assume that, hey, this is a plan. This is like a conspiracy to take down the bad guys. Like, we can't just jump there because we don't have the proof that is true. However, we don't have the proof that this is necessarily a smoking gun, right? None of these emails that I've seen are like so damning that they convict Donald Trump in a court of law, or let's say, hey, Donald Trump is a pedo. You know what I mean? I haven't seen anything like that from anywhere. So we can't go to any extreme right now. You kind of have to just take it as it is, take it as it comes out. And I mean, this is the Oversight Committee files. I mean, it literally, when you go to the oversightcommittee.com or whatever the hell this is, oversight.house.gov, they have a link here that goes to either a Google Drive or a Dropbox. 20,000 pages, over 20,000 pages, everybody. But I want to show you like what this looks like.
So quick question, because I don't know this. Oversight Committee, are they Democrats and Republicans? Are they Are they neither or? Like,
mostly,
what are they?
Yeah, mostly I think Democrats. Here, I can look that up. But like, yeah, it's basically, I know Thomas Massey has been reaching across the aisle. I hate that term, but like he has been kind of working with prominent Democrats to release these files.
Right.
And let's see. Yeah, let's see. So
No, doesn't that open the Pandora's box for them as well? That's why I'm confused with.
Well, right. And then, you look at Trump's his precedence of wanting to get rid of Thomas Massey. And what has Thomas Massey been doing? He's been leading the charge for these Epstein files to be released, right? And
right.
And Massey is very anti-Israel, supporting Israel and sending our money over to foreign countries in general. And so, now Trump's saying, hey, we want to work against this. And we have Miriam Adelson. She's working to get Thomas Massey out, supposedly. That's the word, is she's paying money to work against Thomas Massey's campaign. I can't really find anything as soon as possible here, but the full committee, it looks like you have some chairmen, ranking members. I don't know if these are Democrats or Republicans. I honestly just don't even care. But I mean, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene on this thing, Lauren Boebert, Anna Paulina Luna. So those are prominent MAGA Republicans. You have, okay, so yeah, it does say. So you have Republican members, Democratic member. Is this yeah, that's the full committee. So, I mean, you got people on here, right, that are quote unquote MAGA. But people I guess they just want to see the truth, man. And this is what it looks like, is you have 4 folders, data, images, natives, and text. And if you go into the images, this is where all the emails are, specifically in this 12 file here, or in this 012. But I mean, it's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of these emails. And that's what everybody is kind of trying to look through. And I found this guy, Brian Krasenstein. Now, this guy is very one-sided, okay? Very openly hates Trump. He's saying these are the awful things that surfaced yesterday. And that's the thing that you guys have to look for. Look for those specific adjectives that tell you what these people think, right?
Right.
Here's a thread of all the awful things that surfaced yesterday. Oh, okay. I clearly can understand that this guy has a bias against Trump, and he thinks that all of these are very damning and awful, right? So, use that and just say, okay, I'm going to read through the documents, but I know this guy is very biased, so I'm not going to pay attention to what he says, at least that much, right? Mm-hmm. So, use that. I hate that I have to say that, but people will just throw out. I just want to go on a little tangent here, because I shared something in Telegram, and it happened to be an MSNBC article that was talking about these emails. And somebody said, how do you know this isn't fake? I mean, MSNBC is fake news, and this comes from that. And I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. This is the problem. The problem is that we have been tainted with so much shit from the mainstream media and verifiably false stories about Trump, about war,
both sides,
right? About foreign policy, about everything. And now everybody, and we have Donald Trump feeding this, throwing the mud at the wall, saying this phrase over and over again about fake news media. So nobody trusts a word coming out of MSNBC, CNN. And why would you? I totally don't blame anybody for not trusting anything that they say.
Has he said that at all in his second term?
He has.
That used to be, has he? Okay, I haven't heard him say that. I almost felt like that was one of his main slogans in his first term, drain the swamp and fake news media. So, okay, I haven't really heard it.
But my point is that even if I'm sharing an MSNBC article, that they have a bias already, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to open up the article and read through this and identify those words, those signifiers that go, oh, there's the bias. There's the bias. The awful things that surfaced yesterday, right? That's clear bias. So we all have that capability and the ability to sift that stuff out. But what's left is real information, assuming that it's, we have real information, right?
Yeah. At this point, who knows?
Well, and that's my thing is the real information is the email image. I don't know if it's a fake email. I don't know if it's a real email, but it is being presented from a committee in our government. And the more I say this, the less credibility it sounds. I mean,
So when Trump is saying this is a Democratic hoax, and he kept saying about that, was
Right.
he aware that this was going to come out, or they were going to, like, is he saying this is the hoax instead of just saying they're going to come out with emails about me and it's a hoax? Because
Right.
he has said that the whole Epstein thing is a hoax, and I was like, I don't get it.
So
I do now if I see this going, maybe he was talking about this. I just, that's where my head kind of went with this a bit.
Yeah. So what the Trump administration is referring to as a hoax is that the files that are being presented in the media are cherry picked to only make Republicans and Donald Trump look bad. That is the only thing he's been saying. So
Okay.
he's not saying that it's incorrect. He's not saying that it's false. He did say that it's fake. He's like, all of this stuff's fake. I'm like, what?
That's what I mean.
But like, how you have to, like, if somebody is presenting evidence such as like an email or like 20,000 pages of emails, it is up to you to tell us how this is fake. We can't presume because it goes against Donald Trump that it must be fake and bad, right? You can't just do that.
How do you run 2 times? How do you run 3 times? You know, have 3 elections and not think that this would come out? That's what I mean. I'm just sitting there saying, like, he's had 3 swings. Twice he's made it in, once he hasn't. Where I'm like, when you run for any type of government position, you know, they're opening up that box. They're going to see. So that's why I'm kind of shocked, being like, why not in his first term? Why not when he was running and campaigning his second term? I mean, why now? And I know you had some ideas behind that.
I do.
I might be skipping ahead, but that's where my head is at. With
Well,
all
let's
this
talk
going,
about this. Let's look at what Donald Trump has said, because he's come out on Truth Social, and this is, I don't even know if he uses his Twitter account, but everything that he shares.
Apparently, has he tweeted? Has he sent anything today? Because he hadn't in like a day. So is
I
this
don't
today?
know. I honestly don't. I mean, that's bad on me for not even checking. But like, here is a picture or screenshot of his Truth Social, I think. And this says, now that Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. This is another Russia scam, and all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned. And island is in quotes. So see what I mean? How people are saying that he did this as like a gateway, like he's using himself as the bait. So that way now he can attack the Democrats with this, because I believe it's all there, man. I think that they have this information. They've had this information for a very long time. And unfortunately, they're using it as a political ploy. They're using it to further divide people between one party and the other party, because Jeffrey Epstein should not be a Republican Democrat issue, everybody. It just should not be.
No.
But what does it become? What does it become? The Democrats are using the Epstein hoax. That's right out of Donald Trump's mouth, right?
Yeah.
So who is making this a left-right thing? Donald Trump is, when he's using that kind of terminology. The Democrats are, because they're pointing to like the Republicans. And you have to look at that and go, this is not about politicians being like left and right, like whatever. This is about politicians doing the dirty and being compromised.
Kids, to women and kids. Like, yeah.
But not only that, but being blackmailed by foreign entities.
You know, like I'm looking at this being like how is this? How is this going to be spun around that anybody on the conservative or MAGA side could ever believe Trump again if this is the case. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
Right.
kind of like, because if it was the other way around, we know we'd be like on Clinton and Hillary and Obama's ass, and Biden, we'd be like, yeah. And it's like, maybe they are involved, but right now these emails are the underlining notion here is this is all stuff related to Trump, and he hasn't really come out and said anything about it, like whether it's true or not.
Right.
Like, I just kind of like, what spin are we putting on this?
We have to look at the timing, okay? And like the timing, we just had a government shutdown, but we also had some elections. Okay, we had some elections just happen at the beginning.
Republicans got spanked.
Right, exactly. So like this.
What does that tell you?
Well, this ebbs
if
and
you
flows.
still believe in fair elections, yeah.
Right, but like this is how they ebb and flow, the left and the right, and that's why this whole thing is a big circus. And if you guys think that one side cares about you and that this is like a really like separate issue, no, this is the uniparty controls it all. And this is how they do it. They set the other party up for success. That's what they've been doing the entire time with this whole Epstein thing. Trump saying like, Epstein, we're still talking about him. Why are you talking about Epstein? And like totally avoiding it, not releasing the files, his whole administration like being a joke. That is turning people towards the Democrats. And they know that. They're doing this on purpose. It's very clear.
Yeah.
And I had a document that I'm working on. I'm probably going to share it on Telegram. But I'm going over the top 3 things that people say when they try to defend Trump and his ties with Epstein. Right? And the top 3 things that I hear are, the number one thing is, if there was any evidence that existed, the Democrats would have released it to prevent Trump from becoming president. They would have released it a long time ago, right? That is number one. And I agree, right? Like, why wouldn't they release the information of Donald Trump on this island doing some stuff with kids, right?
Unless, part of the plan was to have him in and then have Biden come in and then make him this martyr and the Golden Dawn and people vote for him again. Like, if you look at it like that way, which is unfortunately how I look at it,
right?
Being like, I think it's all been a ploy because they are both working together. I believed wholeheartedly that the military approached Donald, said, we want you to run, when he did his speech, inauguration speech, and they all came and stood behind him, and I'm like, wow, this is for real. I think it's all a ploy to fish, reel you in. And now what's happening is the MAGA people are ending up like the Democrats, the far left, where they don't want to not believe that this could be the truth. Like, we got played.
Well, it's the same thing with Obama. Like, if you ask a Democrat about Obama, like drone striking more people,
they think he's a god.
Right? They're like, what are you talking about?
Greatest president ever. And it's like, they just won't see past it. And I think that's why I agree with you with this. It's kind of like, why didn't you bring it in at the beginning? Because I think they needed this guy to come in, expose or try to expose what they're going to do, to wake us up. I don't know why they woke us up. They should have just all kept us asleep. But I think it's just this whole karmic retribution. They have to tell us what they're going to do. And they've had this 2030 agenda, and they've been really planning this out. And Trump looked like the stone cold Steve Austin, the F you to the authority. And everyone's like, yeah, if this billionaire can say F you, I'm going to go with him. And I think they've used him and they don't need him anymore, and he's on his way out.
Well, what you just described is controlled opposition, where it's the same damn goal, but you get people to trust in the government again through Donald Trump. Some people, yes, right? The majority of the
I mean, 50% of your population believed believe this. And I totally agree with that, Greg. I'm sitting there saying it's a false hope, this false security blanket that was put on us. All of us were cuddled underneath that blanket, hoping for change. And, maybe Biden, they had to let the 4 years happen. But the thing is, the stuff that Biden has done Trump's administration hasn't even cleaned that up. They haven't
Right.
cleaned a lot of that up.
Hey, there's 3 more years left. We'll see what happens. But
First 11 months does not show promise.
Right.
A promise. That's what I mean, guys. My heart is bleeding for you guys because the first 11 months before this shit came out, I was like, this is not good. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know what the next, 36 months will be like after that. I don't know. I don't know.
So going back to these 3 things that like people usually tie with, defend Trump with Epstein, right? So like the first thing is like if the evidence existed, the Democrats would have released it a long time ago, right? Number 2 is Donald Trump had a falling out with Epstein and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, right? There's some evidence that might not be true.
Supposedly,
Right.
but they were hanging out together at some point for Thanksgiving. I don't know, man.
Right. And then number 3, Donald Trump was one of the only people to cooperate with the police to arrest Epstein, right? And so those 3 things I really identified, and I just like, okay, these are the 3 main talking points where people defend Trump, saying he's not tied with Epstein.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of digging, and I'm going to share that on Telegram. But I do want to go over bullet point number 1. Why didn't they just blow this evidence right at the beginning, right? So like the Democrats would have released this in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so like if we look at who controlled Epstein, like if you start at the top, who did Epstein work for?
The Mossad.
And other intelligence agencies, like just broad in general.
Yeah.
He worked for intelligence agencies. There's plenty of evidence suggesting that he was an intelligence asset. I mean, you have Trump's former labor secretary, Alex Acosta.
Mm-hmm.
He happened to be the U.S. attorney working against Epstein, and he arranged Epstein's slap on the wrist plea deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was reportedly told to back off of Epstein because Epstein, quote, belonged to intelligence. That was a quote. Right. So you have that tie. There's also in the book Epstein, Dead Men Tell No Tales, a former Israeli spy, Ari Ben Manashi, even suggested that Epstein worked for the Israeli Mossad. He claimed that Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, who was also an Israeli espionage agent, was the one who introduced Ghislaine and Epstein to the Mossad.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like these intelligence agencies involved with Epstein. You have to ask, at what lengths would they go to prevent the release of anything?
Yeah.
Right? Because who's really in control of the world? Who's control of our government? It's not the president.
No, it never has been. It never has been.
Right. And so releasing any of these files that proves the connection between intelligence agencies and underage blackmail operations would not be in their best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So consequently, when Epstein was arrested in 2019 and when he was offed, that was a cleanup job. Right. He wasn't like arrested to like expose all this stuff. He was arrested so they could collect all the evidence and squash it.
Right.
Right. So now you got to bring in Trump. OK. And we have all seen the evidence that Trump has handpicked his current administration who are eagerly loyal to Israel.
Yeah.
And you could say the same thing about the majority of the U.S. Congress members, right? The money that they receive, the amount of support.
And they don't hide it, guys. Like they don't, like we're not pulling this shit out of our asses like this. They don't hide it. And that's what, sorry, I'm going on a little tangent here, but that's what gets me all irked with the conservatives, especially in the MAGA, is just like, do you not see that? Do you not see that? Like, we know how Israel is. We know that Israel is tied to the Mossad. The Mossad actually runs everything. And we're just sitting there saying, like, this whole leave Israel for last. Like, there won't be any last. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. By the time any of this gets resolved to some degree, there's going to be no U.S. left, like, at this point. And I think that's what this is all about. They just brought Trump in, got people to believe in the government again, and he's got 3 years to put things in place for the next person to come in, and which could be
Right.
a Democrat, and they're on the same team.
Well,
They're on the same team.
I mean, going back to he is heavily loyal to Israel. His whole administration is loyal to Israel. Israel benefits from having Trump in power.
Right.
Okay. It's getting everything it needs. It has like a pro-Israel U.S. government, control the narrative versus this anti-Semitism thing, right? Squashing down big tech, weapons and funding for whatever they want to do with Gaza, right? So therefore, like Trump staying alive and regaining power is way more useful to Israel than Trump being locked up or dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
if-
would agree 100% on that. Yeah.
So if there is any evidence on Trump with Epstein, Trump being the useful tool for Israel could be the primary reason for suppressing that evidence. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, and when you look at this cache of emails that just came out, there is a lot of Israel involvement, and Ian Carroll has been all over that. However you want to feel about Ian Carroll, right? I'm not saying you should trust him. I'm saying look at the evidence that he presents and take it for how you're going to do with it. All right? So, yeah, it's one of those things where that's why I don't think evidence came out, because Donald Trump is a tool being used by foreign governments. Same thing with all of the, and it's like this, there's a domino effect. So if you release information on Donald Trump and you have footage of Donald Trump on an island, it's going to open Pandora's box, and people are going to ask, well, who else is there? Right?
Right.
What
right.
other stuff is there? I saw a pallet filled with videotapes. What's on those videotapes? You know? So it's one of those things where you have to look at the motives, the actions, because actions speak louder than words, everybody. Trump can talk the talk, but what he's doing is supporting a foreign country more than he's supporting America right now. And what these emails show is that he continued and he knew about the girls. Here is one of the emails to Michael Wolff. He is the author who wrote the book about Trump. It was obviously like a hit job type of book. But this is an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Michael Wolff. Blank worked at Mar-a-Lago. She was the one who accused Prince Andrew. We know who the one who accused Prince Andrew was. That was Virginia Giuffre. So the blank right here is Virginia Giuffre. And we also know that Virginia Giuffre worked at Mar-a-Lago. Trump said that he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. So what does that imply? That implies that Trump said that he asked Epstein to resign. And Epstein says right here that I was never a member, ever. So Trump is saying that he said, right, that he asked Epstein to, but like that never happened because Epstein was never a member. So he can't resign if you're not a member.
Right.
And now he says, this is Epstein saying, of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. He asked Ghislaine to stop. Because going back to the Virginia Giuffre lawsuit and her deposition, it was Ghislaine Maxwell who approached Virginia Giuffre, not Epstein.
Right. No, that's right.
Right. And so you have these conflicting stories where this person, like, where did this idea of Epstein hitting on a member's daughter come from? Where did that daughter come, or where did that information come from?
Right.
Because in the sworn deposition from Virginia Giuffre, or Virginia Roberts, she said that when she was 15 years old, she was working at Mar-a-Lago. She was introduced there by her father, Virginia Giuffre's father. Virginia Giuffre's father was a maintenance man who worked at Mar-a-Lago. Virginia Giuffre worked in the spa at Mar-a-Lago and was approached by Ghislaine Maxwell. Virginia Giuffre's birthday is in August, And she was saying that this all happened in June. So she was legally 15 years old, working as a spa assistant at Mar-a-Lago.
It's a little young.
It's a little young,
I would say.
right? And so she, in her deposition, was reading an anatomy book because she had this interest of being a masseuse. She was approached by Ghislaine Maxwell, who said, "Hey, you should come with me. I got this guy. He's got a lot of money. You could be like his private masseur and, give him a massage and you can learn some stuff." So Virginia Guffrey's dad drives Virginia over to Epstein's place. And that is where all the stuff happens.
The shit went down. Right.
And so you look at the only evidence that I have found. Do you know where that evidence, where he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
Mar-a-Lago?
Do you know where that came from?
No.
So I did a lot of digging on this. And the number one source where that comes from is James Patterson's book, Filthy Rich. So James Patterson is a New York Times best-selling author for fictions. He was known for all of his fiction stories up until he decided to write a nonfiction book.
Which happened to be this one.
Yeah. So his very first nonfiction book happened to be about Trump, Epstein, all this stuff.
You couldn't write a more messed up timeline. The whole timeline is messed up. Just everybody involved, just everything.
Right. So
what's your take? Do you think that was all bullshit?
Well, so here's the deal is James Patterson claims that he hired 3 private investigators who concluded that there was no evidence that Donald Trump nor Bill Clinton participated in any sexual predation with Epstein. Okay. He claimed that he was on a plane and he sat next to the, quote, former Mar-a-Lago spa manager who told him that Trump threw Epstein out of a plane, or not out of a plane. Wow. Freudian slip. That Trump threw Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because he was making advances of underage girls at the spa, right?
Yeah, to the staff, yeah.
Right, and he said that Epstein was not a club member, but he was also a frequent visitor. So that adds up, or that aligns with the emails that Epstein was saying. But the book is the primary source for this information, that Epstein was kicked out by Donald Trump. And it's very interesting because, like, I have this, it's a, I guess, interview on Fox News. And this is back in 2019. So this book came out in 2016. So this guy, James Patterson, he wrote this book. He had this investigation back in 2016 when Donald Trump became president. So he's been having this information for a while. And then now when Epstein got arrested, there's stories about Trump and Epstein coming out, right? And so this guy's going all over the news. So this is in July of 2019, before Epstein's offed.
Yeah, he got offed, what, in August?
Right.
The following month?
Right.
Yeah.
And so this guy goes on Fox News, and he's on Dana, whatever her name is, Dana Perino. And he's talking about this book, and he's talking about Trump, and he's talking about Epstein and all the involvement there. So take a listen to what he says, and we can stop this whenever you want, so just let me know. But this first little section is very interesting because he talks about it right here.
President Trump said earlier that he had a falling out with Epstein about 15 years ago. Do you know what that was about?
Well, I know that there were some complaints about Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, and also I spoke to the head of the spa there, and she said that I said, "Did you ever meet Epstein?" She said, "Oh yes." She said he would come and he was inappropriate with some of the younger women there, and she said, "I went to Mr. Trump and Trump threw him out of the club."
Kevin Spacey said,
"Do you see what's happening?" She switched the topic just like that. Kevin
Yeah.
Spacey. Wait, so this woman, she's the spa manager. Okay.
She didn't. There was no elaborating on the question.
Right. I have some
It
questions.
just was.
Right. and I understand this is Fox News, so you got to go, whatever. Right. But like, I have some questions for you, bro. Like, what plane was he flying on when you met the spa manager? Where were you flying to? What was the date of the flight? How did you actually verify that this woman was the Mar-a-Lago spa manager, or did you just take her word for it? What was the name? How long did she work there?
It's like it's just a bullet point on her reference card. Move on to the next question. You know?
Yes. So that's my point. When you watch these things, you got to pick up on this stuff and you go, whoa, that's it? We're just going to take his word that he talked to a spa manager who said that Trump kicked Epstein out?
Who was the manager? What was the time of day? What are the...
And to this day, that manager's name has never been revealed. The date and the time.
It's probably not true. Like now we're starting to see a lot of this stuff that we thought was true is not true. I don't know.
Well, James Patterson is a fiction author. He writes stories. He makes stories up for his living. And now he's doing a nonfiction book about this. It just makes you wonder.
There's a lot of questions on that. Being like, why all of a sudden did you switch genres? Or
right. And he's very adamant about nothing involving Bill Clinton with Epstein as well. And we've all seen, like Epstein fly. It's all just like kind of circumstantial.
Yeah.
But
you know what I saw today is I saw a video where this person actually said that Trump never, ever slammed Clinton. He would slam Obama. He'd slam Hillary. He would say, oh, I got along with him, but, he's got some questions to be asked about hanging with Epstein. That's the only time. And I think that will come back to later on in the show when we talk about Bubba. And I'm going like, I wonder if that's the reason why. This is what this person in this video was saying. And I said, that's a good point, because he never talked crap about Bill.
Right.
Always about Hillary.
They had a standing ovation for Hillary and Bill. Like Donald Trump encouraged everybody to stand up for Bill. And like, maybe it's optics. Maybe it's like he's just, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying,
your enemies
everybody.
Close to you, the plan, the 5D chess. I text you today what the 5D chess stands for.
Right. Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
So
I'll put that on Telegram for you guys.
Right. So just closing it out on this James Patterson guy, I'm just saying he also co-authored 3 fictional books with Bill Clinton. Yes. He has The President is Missing in 2018, The President's Daughter in 2021, and The First Gentleman this year, 2025. And he said that he's very close with Bill Clinton. He's had a relationship and a friendship with Bill Clinton. Okay. So there is some motive and incentive to leave Bill Clinton alone.
Yeah.
You're writing these books. You're getting a lot of money, right? It's like, keep your mouth shut. We'll write a book. And not only that, let's see. So there was one last thing about him.
Has he written any nonfiction stuff since then?
I don't know.
Do you know? Or did he go back to fiction? Just wrote this one nonfiction book and then switched again?
I think he did do a couple more nonfictions.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, so there was another book. There was another book entitled The Grifters Club that said Epstein was a member of Mar-a-Lago and that his membership ended on October 7th. Like the day the Gaza attacks, the day that we invaded Iraq. What is it with this October 7th day, right?
Yeah, it's just like their numbers. They love their dates.
Right. So I'm just saying, we don't know if Trump kicked anybody out, everybody. And here's the catch is like, why would he just kick out Epstein and not kick out Ghislaine Maxwell? Ghislaine Maxwell, per the indictment, was the one physically going up to young girls and recruiting them.
Yeah.
Why didn't he kick her out?
But the thing is, this story that we've been told, which the right is believed. I believed it. Greg, you believed it. We all believed it. There's no evidence to it. So like if we can debunk that and be like, show us the proof that it wasn't just someone writing a nonfiction book about it, then then it would be like, okay, well, he didn't, because you're right. That's one of the bullet points. One of the talking points is he kicked Epstein out, didn't like him. But if that came from a source that's not reliable, unidentifiable, not reliable,
a fictional author.
Yeah.
It's that.
And then to be asked that question on Fox, and then next bullet point, go on to the next thing. Yeah. Now I'm scratching my head even more, being like, that's no longer a talking point that MAGA could use until they can say, unless it's out of Trump's mouth and he pulls out a document and says, here's the people, the staff that worked that night. This is who it is, stuff like it's somebody who's just making it up and writing in a book. And if that's your excuse to say that they were no longer friends, when we now know that they did hang out with each other even during his first term.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so there's one last thing is that people say, well, Donald Trump was one of the only ones that helped police or investigators, right, that led to Epstein's arrest in 2009. He was the only one that helped anybody.
Says who?
So
you know what I mean?
that is actually backed up.
All
but
right.
you have to ask yourself, why did he do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you look at this comes from an interview with Derek Brose and Bradley Edwards. And Bradley Edwards, here, I'm just going to open this up in a new tab so we can kind of look at this bigger here. Bradley Edwards, who represented many of Epstein's victims back in 2009, was sued by Epstein for defamations and then countersued and won. He had this to say about Donald Trump's involvement and cooperation with Epstein drama. All right. Now, he said that Donald Trump is the only person who in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on behalf of Epstein's victims on a lot of people to some pretty connected people, and I wanted to talk to them, Trump, is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. Tell me what you need to know. That was a direct quote, right? He was very helpful in this information that he gave. And gave no information whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever. But he had good information. That checked out. But listen to this, Flex. And that helped us, and we didn't even have to take a deposition from him. Did you read that?
Don't you have to swear in on a deposition?
You do. That is a court document. That is your word. You could go to jail if you lie on a deposition. So Donald Trump was so helpful that he didn't even have to have a deposition, man. So you have to ask yourself, is that why Donald Trump called? He's like, hey, we can just get this done right here. Off the record. We don't have to go to court. I'll give you what you need to know. It might be true. It might not be true. But at least I won't be on the record. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to look at those things. He escaped a deposition. So did he really help people out, or was he looking out for himself?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. It's a good point.
So like you guys, you have to read between the lines here.
Yeah, you have to. And like I said, just too much has gone on just in the last 11 months where I'm like, if he was doing some amazing shit, I'm like, oh, they're just making this shit up on him, like, oh, for sure. That's why it's a hoax. But it's just like, he has not had a strong second term at all. And it's not like the Democrats are like, we need to slow this MAGA machine down because they are draining the swamp and we need to put some shit out there. That's not the case, right? That's how I'm looking at it. If you had a strong 11 months, I would have been like, all right, they're going to pull everything out of their hat here.
So now, I know this is kind of a pun here, but like to be a little bit more lighthearted, you did want to talk about this. I don't know if you can see this.
I see that.
But this is Bill Clinton at the Oval Office, and Mr. Trumpy's on his knees underneath the desk there.
Oh, boy.
Because there was some email that came out talking about...
Yeah, this...
What? What was it talking about?
Well, a little... Yeah. a little skin flute action
Ooh.
and nicknames. And this is where Trump could come out and say, I'm suing you for defamation. This is not true. So we haven't heard from him yet. It's been a couple days. Usually he's very quick to come out with something, but this whole rubbing the bubba or sucking bubba off or
Right.
whatever nickname it is, that photo again could be real, cannot be real until I hear from Donald Trump's mouth and he sues them, because that's a big lawsuit.
Well, so let's look through this. Let's look through this. So this is an email between
and Donald right now could not get on his knees at all. So
no.
He'd go down and stay down.
Yeah, that's a Jerry Nadler situation. Once you're down, you're down.
That's it.
All right. So we have Mark Epstein. This is Epstein's brother writing.
Like, where have all these been for the last few years? That's my
right.
Like, why now?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean,
why now? I don't know.
Its public persona is shifting the favor back into the Democrats' bucket. That's my motto that I'm going with. That's what I think is happening.
Is it to get Vance in, or is this really destroying the Republicans that they wouldn't want Vance to come in?
I'm still open to the idea that Trump's going to release some information about high-level Democrats as well. I think everybody's going to get thrown out.
At this point, he's gonna have to.
Right.
Like
full scorched earth. Just do it. Fuck. I'd be for that. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like, gloves are off.
So right here, this is Mark Epstein. He says, how are you doing? A while back, you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? And so Mark was writing to his brother, Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein says, all good, Bannon with me. So Steve Bannon was with Jeffrey Epstein. So if you remember, Steve Bannon did like a sit-down interview with Jeffrey Epstein. You actually got to hear Jeffrey Epstein's voice. It's very you know what I would do? Kind of like Mike Tyson-esque.
Yeah.
Very high-pitched and very weaselly. You know, it's very concerning.
Yeah. Like someone was grabbing his nutsack as he was talking.
Yeah. And then
small child.
So then Mark replies, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. And this is what everybody's referring to. Like, Bubba is Bill Clinton. And I think that this is just a joke. I think this is just like, because I
hope so.
Well, yeah, I think that the Bill Clinton... Well, no. So this is in 2018. So the Bill Clinton photo has not come out yet. Think about the timing of this, everybody, because Epstein has not been arrested. This is in March 21st, 2018. And Mark,
so it's,
right. And
yeah,
so
this is about a year and a bit before his demise.
Right. And we didn't know anything about Bill Clinton in the blue dress. We didn't really even know about Jeffrey Epstein and the island. No one knew about
this.
Not
at this point. Not at this point. No.
And so Mark, his brother, is asking Jeffrey Epstein about Putin having photos of Trump blowing Bill Clinton. And then Jeffrey Epstein says, and I thought I had TSURIS, Tsuris. And I don't know if that's like a word for stress or something. TSURIS. URIS.
That's, I think, like the blood issue or sugar.
Oh,
sugar
yeah.
issue.
Problems, trouble. Yiddish for aggravating trouble. So trouble, distress, whatever. So he was saying, and I thought I had trouble. Right? So like his brother says, does Putin have the photos of Trump blowing Bubba? And then Epstein responds, and I thought I had the trouble. And then he says, Mark goes, you and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard. And then
what the fuck?
And then Jeffrey Epstein says, you mean Donnie T. And it's spelled Donni and then Tee, like a golf tee.
Tee.
And then Mark responds, I'd rather be in Donnie D's shoes. So
I don't know what these brothers are even talking about right now. It's kind of like
That's the problem, man. The context.
Your context is an inside joke. Like what's
Right. I mean, it's all of these. And when Trump is saying like they're cherry picked, I can see where he's coming from because there is the lack of context. When you have a big chain of emails and you have that context building up over time through that thread, that is.
And again, the emails don't mean it's true. If I just said to Greg, "Hey, did you have a photo of Danielson giving so and so this or that?"
Right,
It's just because
exactly.
I emailed him doesn't mean now it's Danielson. He probably did do it, but I'm just saying. Yeah, it's just because it's written in there doesn't mean it actually happened.
Right. Exactly.
It's an
That's exactly the
inside
point.
joke.
Right. And so
inside
everybody,
joke.
yeah,
I don't know.
read these with precaution. Don't take it as like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God. Because that's what people are sharing it around is like, oh my, did you see this?
Yeah.
Something that I found, I want to play this video. This woman's kind of crazy. I mean, she wears a mask and I get like why you'd wear a mask, but her mask is very strange. And she's making videos and she's talking about the files and Adam Sandler being caught up in this. Like Adam Sandler's wife.
Oh boy.
This is interesting. This is very interesting.
Not Adam Sandler. Not Adam
know.
Sandler.
So check this out. And then we can get into some videos. If you have
He
them.
does love his pizza parties with Jennifer Aniston. They always talk about the pizza party. Oh, I
Right.
saw this. Yeah.
Right. You've seen
She's
this
creepy
woman?
of it.
Yeah, she's got this creepy mask. It reminds me of that Showtime show, like Yellow Jackets, where they put on those creepy masks and stuff. All right, so check this out.
Sandler is married to Jackie Titone. She appears in a lot of his movies.
Okay, so you guys missed that. She said Adam Sandler is married to something Titone, right? And then she's showing pictures of the wife appearing in Adam Sandler movies.
She's in a lot of his films, but he likes all his friends to be
We
in his
all
films.
pretty
Yep.
much know her. But did you know her dad, Joey Titone? A Florida lawyer who defended John Luke Brunel, an associate of Epstein in 2015.
There he is. Okay, that's John Luke Brunel.
Brunel had been involved in many scandals starting in the 90s before this, particularly because he ran a modeling agency that was involved in the sex trafficking. He even flew 3 12-year-old girls from France to the U.S. as a birthday gift for Epstein. So, you know, we don't need to play coy and assume Joe didn't know, because that happened years prior. Brunel was one of many suppliers. Virginia Jeffrey, a victim, came forward and said that Epstein bragged about sleeping with over 1,000 of Brunel's girls. After Epstein's death, Brunel went into hiding because he knew he'd probably be next. So police started investigating Brunel and arrested him on charges of human trafficking, criminal conspiracy, and sexual assault, all involving minors. While awaiting trial, he was found hanging in his prison cell, just like Epstein. Now, a friend of both Brunel and Epstein in the same modeling world was Paolo Zampoli. He was actually Melania Knauss's modeling agent. He filed her H-1B visa paperwork. He even said that she wasn't working for money in the U.S. prior to receiving the visa because that's illegal. But that was a lie, because she actually had been paid over $20,000 for 10 different modeling gigs in America prior to obtaining her visa, which is immigration fraud. Paolo Zampoli, her accomplice, is the one who introduced her to her husband, Donald Trump. Back to Jackie, she started modeling in late high school in Florida, and no matter how hard I look, I can't find her modeling agency. Adam Sandler...
So there's just a lot of ties here. That wasn't necessarily like the catch up with the emails, my bad, but like...
No, but it's you follow the money, follow the honey, and the honeys are, you know, model agencies, pageants, anyone hanging around with the right people, who get all of a sudden a record deal or movie deal. What this tells me, and we all know this all needs to be wrapped up and just shoved, and everyone is out of office. Start from scratch. I know the world will probably crumble, but for 90 days, everything just shuts the hell down. New CEOs, new everything, and be like, if you don't have anything to worry about, you stay on board. If we have stuff on you, you're out and take you out. Like, I don't understand why. I don't understand why this has to be so if you're talking about the plan,
Secretive.
so slow and cherry secretive. Fuck it. Take them all out. Take
Right.
them out.
Well, and especially if
I
there
don't
is,
mean with God. I don't mean violently. Just say you're done. You don't
Right.
represent us anymore. This is what you do to kids.
Right. Well, and
Clean
you
this
know
up.
what? There is a contingency plan. There is a contingency process for if, God forbid, a bomb blew up like the majority of our congressmen, like who would take over, right? You have to think about these things like worst case scenarios. And that is where this whole devolution, the military, assuming power, right?
Yeah.
And what happens if your president is corrupt? The commander of a certain position in the military would have to assume the power and then take control.
Take over.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have some martial
Yeah.
law.
Yeah.
So that's another dangerous territory, right?
Like I used to listen all the time to Derek Johnson. Do you remember Derek Johnson?
I do, yeah.
And like when I listened to him or did listen to him, a lot of it made sense. I'm like, oh, this is what's going on. And I could sort of peel away the facade that's in front of us and be like, this could be happening. I see this happening. But, there's nothing left of you guys. I mean, like, that's why the Band-Aid needs to be ripped off now. Up in every organization, in every government. I think it's getting so bad that they want to make it look like it doesn't matter about elections anymore. That's why I don't think elections will ever happen anymore, because nobody will trust them. And maybe that's part of the plan. Let's expose all this, that we don't have elections and we don't trust people anymore.
Right.
And we just vote on policies, not parties.
Well, and it's
I don't
gotten to
know.
the point. It's honestly gotten to the point where if anything bad comes out about the person that you support, whether that be Trump, whether that be Mamdani, whether that be Biden, Obama, nobody's going to believe it. They're going to think that it's fake, especially with the AI age now. They're going to
That's
say
it.
fake,
Like, we're fucked.
right? Like nobody
So
is going to
that's why-
believe any incriminating evidence that is actually valid and true.
I agree, and that's why I think the AI has been pushing so hard. Is down the road they want to use it as surveillance and basically to smother us and control us. But that's down the road. I think in the forefront right now, I think it's going to be used for. You can't trust this. It's an AI video of Greg doing this. He didn't do it. So again, they don't waste anything. So down the road, they're going to use it to put in their digital dollar, surveillance, freedom of speech gone, all that can be tracked. But right now, I think the AI will be used for, you can't, like, these videos aren't real, so you can't believe them.
Right. Yeah, it's
they're
the
smart.
perfect
These
it's
are-
the
they're-
perfect scapegoat.
They are very, when I say they, you know who I'm talking about, are very patient people. They're going to get what they want until people stand up and say enough is enough. And we're not there yet. I don't know if we'll ever get there. And I'm to blame. Greg's to blame. Everyone here's to blame because we talk about it. We don't really do anything about it. It's just like, that's why I feel like, is it a play on, are you going to do this or not? Or are we going to just continue? And that's why I always feel maybe this whole Trump administration is to make it look like, hey, don't trust anybody. We need you to start an uprising and do something. Or they just want to screw us. I'm on both ends of this spectrum here. I can't figure if it is to get us to really wake up and take control. Not the military is the only way. We are the only way. Versus, hey, we're going to do it anyways because you guys are sleeping sheep and we don't give two shits.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of that going around, right? There's a lot of people that are saying, the only way to solve this is by a revolution, right? That the way we had the Revolutionary War, I mean, that was the only way. But things have changed, have they? I don't know. There's been a lot of pushback against, hey, we live in a different society. We have different ways to communicate. We don't just have to shoot and kill to get what we want, right?
No.
But just to end the show, because I have this one email that was very interesting. It's talking about dogs. And I remember back in the day, there was all this dog stuff happening. Like the when Biden was in the White House, he had those two dogs. One of them would always bite the other one, right? Like Commander and whatever the hell the other one's name was. But like, we talked about this was a way that they would communicate that they were going to do something or obey, because what do dogs do, right? They're obedient. And there was an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. And he said, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Virginia spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. And I've heard like speculation on this 75% there as I'm 75% confident that Trump isn't squealing. Because I think that they're trying to figure out if Donald Trump is going to Virginia Giuffre and telling her certain things on what to do. Being like this FBI informant type of thing, right? And they're trying to keep an eye on Trump as a possible leak. He's like a rat. Meaning like Trump would be a good guy in this scenario, right? Working to take down this pedophile ring. And so that's what that implies, is that Trump is a dog that hasn't barked. That means that he is obedient. He's following the plan, right? And there was this video in the files, a very strange video of a dog. Let me play it for you. So this dog is...
Oh, that looks like Ruby.
Right, it does look like Ruby. Ruby is sitting there biting the head of Donald Trump. So these are little stuffed dolls. You have Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I'm just going to play this video, and you tell me what you think about this.
Charlie, ma chi è quello lì? Ma ti piace questo pupazzotto?
Did she say the dog's name's Ruby? I don't know.
I don't know. But what is the dog not doing? The dog is not barking.
No, he's not.
He's not barking, right? And this says on the back of Donald Trump, it says push to inflate head.
We don't need that.
Right. But like the dog is biting the head. Oh, is he biting the right ear? Look at that. He's biting the right ear where Donald Trump was hit. Oh, they're foreshadowing.
Oh, my God. And I swear I heard her say something Ruby. I'm just like, that's funny.
Well, they're speaking in a different language. I don't know what language it is, but here, let's listen again. Charlie?
Ma chi è quello lì? Ma ti piace questo pupazzotto?
Mikhail Ruby. I don't know. She said Mikhail Ruby. I don't know.
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna say I heard Ruby just because, hey, she's gonna say it.
Right.
But yeah, little nibs on Donald there. Hillary's not being touched.
Right. So like this dog is not barking and it's ripping Donald's head apart. Right. So like, why is this in the Epstein files? Why? Right. Like it's just a 20 second.
Yeah. But there is that email saying that Donald hasn't barked yet. The dog hasn't barked yet.
Right.
And when I was watching some videos earlier today, they were talking a little bit about how, I have to go back and look at it. It was something about his first term and second term being like, either we cook him now or we cook him later. And they decided to cook him later, which is now. And as to why, again, I don't know why now and not beforehand, if they had that information on him,
Right, but
where he
now
said,
I think it adds
the dog
more.
Hasn't barked.
Right, it adds more context into the dog comms. It's like you show a video of a dog that's not barking. That means, hey, this guy's solid. He's not squealing. If you show a video of a dog just barking wild, you're pointing fingers.
Yeah,
right.
Like how many times did Biden's dog bite somebody too? Like,
yes,
it's just weird. Like all that, it's weird.
And this dog is biting Donald Trump, right? So
yeah,
there's something going on here. And remember when there was that foreign leader, I don't know if he was like a quote unquote terrorist who was blown up in a tunnel, but there was a dog that went over there, or like Donald Trump described him as a dog. He's like, that guy died like a dog.
Like a dog, yes.
He was hiding there like a dog. It's
dead.
Like, well, what did he mean by that? Did he start barking?
I just feel like the Donald in his first term is so different than now. Even just the way he speaks, just
Right.
And I'm looking at it being like, if they really had this stuff on him, then why is he bending the knee now? Like he could have done it he could have bent the knee in the first term. So just his whole administration being tied and so like just way too close to Israel. The last 11 months, a lot hasn't happened. Grant you, he's got 3 more years, but the last 11 months before this came out was not that great. And now you have this coming out where I'm like, oh, this is not good at all. And I'm seeing it within his base being like, he duped us. Like this is his own MAGA people saying, look, I'm a conservative. I voted for him 3 times and I wish I didn't this time because I don't trust what's going on.
Right.
You know, and that's before the Epstein stuff came out today.
Well,
yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday, 2 days ago ish. But like, here is one email. I have not verified this. I did not pull this off. This is shared by a guy who I believe is very left leaning, but he's making a good point here. If this is a verified true email, this person on 12/2/2018 at 5:26 a.m. says it will all blow over. They're really just trying to take down Trump and doing whatever they can to do that. And then Jeffrey Epstein or J.E. iTunes. So this is like a different email that I haven't seen. On the same day, like a couple seconds later, it says, yes, thanks. It's wild because I'm the one able to take him down.
Oh.
So Jeffrey Epstein is implying that he is the one who could take down Donald Trump. And Jeffrey Epstein died under Trump's administration.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And they did hang out together in 2017 at Thanksgiving. So in one of those emails as well. So it's between the 2017 to the 19th, you know, when he died, it's just kind of like, did they have a falling apart and Jeffrey's like, I could take you down and Trump got rid of Jeffrey? I don't know.
Yeah. And that one about Thanksgiving, I don't know if they actually hung out, but
yeah,
it was talking about, I'm trying to search through all this.
I saw something that the families that hung out or something. And again, I don't even know if any of these emails are even real. Like at this point, like, you know what I mean? Like they could have just went into AI the last 42 days and said, okay, AI, we need you to make up emails and link them together.
Exactly.
And so,
exactly.
Like,
they could have done that during the government shutdown, right?
That's what I mean. Just being like, yeah, we need 40 something odd days to either read it all or make it all up and script it all.
So here's Nick Sortor, breaking the official X account of the Democrat Party has deleted their post claiming that President Trump spent Thanksgiving with Jeffrey Epstein in 2017. Okay. He was literally the president, dumbasses, blah, blah. So see, he's inserting his bias here. But this was the original email. I'm going to open it up. The Democrat Party said new documents show that Donald Trump spent Thanksgiving with Jeffrey Epstein. And then this is kind of what you're referring to. So down at the bottom, you kind of have to read these from bottom up. So Faith Cates is writing Jeffrey Epstein. She says, fun. When are you back in New York City? Epstein says, all next week. Cates says, okay, Dylan will want to see you. I always want to see you. Where are you having Thanksgiving? And then Epstein says, EVA.
So are these emails or text messages? Because they're written like text messages. Like who emails one line to someone and then back to another line?
Right. So they started doing these emails. I don't know. That's just what they did, dude. And then
like, why not text? This would be a text.
Right. So
can you imagine if you emailed me like that and I emailed you back one line? Hey, you good for 6:30? Yes. What do you want? Like we text each other.
Yeah, very inefficient, right? So
very inefficient. Very inefficient.
Maybe they just did something different back then, but like
up
here,
it tracked or something.
So Faith Cates asks, or just says he's such a snooze. Who else is down there? And Jeffrey Epstein says David, Fitzel, Hansen, and Trump. And then Faith Cates just says, "Have fun." So that was November 23rd, 2017.
Yeah.
But what does down there mean? And was like Trump just down there being associated with something else? Was Trump there with Epstein? It's not implied. Like the context is very overblown here.
Very vague. Very vague. Very vague.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. We can't just jump to conclusions either side.
Yeah, these emails are like one-line emails, kind of like. And I'm looking at the date going 2017. Now I had a smartphone then, so it could text, or use Blackberries because Blackberries is what they use because they're encrypted. You can't, you know what I mean? So like, why emails?
Right.
We kind of know, like, that's what I mean by, like, if Trump was going after Hillary about her 33,000 emails, why, if this is true, why didn't Trump not have anybody on his side try to erase all this?
Exactly.
And then they come out and say, Trump tried to erase it, but we found it. Oh, that's why we didn't hear about it. We just didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
Nobody was trying to hide it.
I think
on his side.
The number 33 tells you everything you need to know. I think that they throw that out there and it's just like,
no,
it's all the same team, bro.
No,
all on the same team. So yeah, I think we have exhausted this episode. We'll have to just see what it is.
We'll have to play it out, and probably by next week or the week after, we can do a follow up on it. Like, honestly, Greg and I, we're both like, Trump again. But this is important in the sense of it just shows that both sides are just fucked. Like, it's just the whole system is just whatever.
Right.
It's just you can't trust anybody. Does a new party get started because of this? Like, is the Democrats and is it going to be a one-party system where, again, socialist, one party, vote for policy? They're making it so bad that people will never trust the vote again.
Right. So I want to be very clear. There's no implication that Donald Trump is guilty for anything.
No.
Right. And so there is a possibility that he could have been an FBI, whatever informant hanging out with this bad group of people, taking notes, telling stories.
I love that.
Right.
Bro, I'd be the first to do cartwheels if that's the case.
Right. So that could definitely be a possibility that I'm totally open to. And I think that everybody else should be open to that, because you can't say that this is enough proof to take down Donald Trump. Like, no judge would look at this and be like, where's the proof?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, they would just be like, this is all hearsay.
You would need audio and video. And even with that, with the AI, we'd never know.
Right.
We'd never know.
Right. And that's why I go back to those three. When you defend Donald Trump and you say they would have released this a long time ago, he was the only one who worked with the police, right? All that stuff.
Before we go, why now? Why do you think now?
Right. And that is the number one question that everybody needs to ask.
Yeah.
Is look at what Donald Trump just came out and said. He said that he is going to ask his attorney general to unleash the beast, so to speak.
Yes.
No pun intended, but kind of on all
like almost gloves are off. Yeah, gloves off.
Right.
Here we go. Gloves off. And then this came out.
Right. And if you go back to this whole Q stuff, like 11.3 is the marker, 11.4 is verified, and it's go time. And we just got past 11.4, November 4th. And then all this stuff started coming out. And, this whole like drip, flood. I'm just saying, all that shit is still a very valid possibility for me to happen.
For sure.
And what happens of it, though, there's still the AI bros creating all this shit, like the digitalized ID. Apple just came out with a digital ID. What are we doing to stop that? Like, I don't see any pushback.
We'd have to do a show on also Vance, JD Vance. Like, I've been watching and collecting stuff on him and Palantir and Peter
Good old
Peter Thiel. And I still think something will happen with Trump with his health, and he's out. And I almost feel like this whole administration was to get Vance in as president.
Maybe
something's going on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And Erica Kirk being his wife. I know it's on my bingo card. Greg didn't agree with me, but you never know.
Well, hey, she was flaunting it in those tight leather pants, man. She was strutting her stuff, dude.
And grabbing the back of his head and being very. I'm just saying. Listen, It's a conspiracy show. I can say whatever I want.
That it is. Yes,
Entertainment
indeedy.
purposes only. Yep.
Yes. Well, yes. Flex, everybody in the chat, thanks for joining the show. I know it's kind of like if you're pro-Trump, it's kind of hard to sit and listen to this because it's like, dude, quit shitting on the guy. But like, you just got to be honest. Like, and I'm totally open to the idea of him being Batman. Okay, he's in there infiltrating these bad. We don't know. We just don't know.
I would love to be wrong and not have my heart broken like it was in 2021, 2022. And I'm being serious. My heart was broken when I realized, oh, this is not who I thought it was. But again, it's 5D chess, hopefully.
Right. So everybody just keep your eyes peeled. Do not have any faith in any politician. You're just going to get your heart broken. You're going to have your hopes let down, all that stuff. So
that is the god darn truth.
Focus
just
on your
believe
family.
In yourself. Focus on your family and believe in Hulkamania. That's all I got to say.
Family, health, education, and just be smart. Be smart in what you do. All right?
Yeah.
Flex, stay safe up there in Canada. Everybody else, stay steamy.